10 WWE moments that define pure cinema. Let's watch.
The "This is Cinema" meme has become one of the most popular memes on social media over the past couple of years, and it's finally transitioned into the world of pro wrestling. The meme can be used for a scene in a movie or a standout moment from a TV show. However, when it comes to wrestling, it's traditionally used when a memorable, seemingly iconic moment takes place. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 WWE moments that were pure cinema. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, WrestleMania Shorts. Number 10, Edge comes out of retirement. Edge's retirement in 2011 shook the wrestling world to its core. Edge was forced to retire as world champion due to severe neck problems, and it seemed like an impossibility that the rated R superstar would ever wrestle again. But fast forward to the 2020 Royal Rumble, and Edge's music hits, and he entered the match as a surprise entrant. The sheer shock of fans and attendance turned to a sense of joy and fulfillment as Edge was finally back in WWE. It was hard to watch Edge's return without getting emotional, and it was clear that Edge himself was struggling to hold it all together. Edge was now ready to go, and he was ready to finish his career in the squared circle on his own terms.
Did y'all cry during this moment?
The Texas
Be
Rattlesnake
real.
strikes again.
It's okay.
WWE made up for a disappointing WrestleMania 16 with a critically acclaimed Backlash event. The Backlash pay-per-view in 2000 was outstanding, and it was topped off from the match that should have main evented WrestleMania, that being Triple H vs The Rock for the WWE title. The two had a tremendous match as expected, and it was towards the end of the match in which the entire world got to witness one of the loudest ovations in WWE history. Stone Cold Steve Austin would make his return to WWE following his neck surgery, and he would assist The Rock in overcoming the McMahon-Helmsley faction. It was a wonderful moment, and
I know that
one
pop
of the most
was
iconic
crazy.
returns of the entire Attitude Era. The Rock would then go on to win the
As
title
soon
and
as his,
drink a beer with his former arch-rival as
theme drop?
Backlash 2000 went off the air. Number 8, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn main event WrestleMania. Heading into WrestleMania 39, there was a ton of debate as to which match should main event night 1 of the show. It was reported that WWE wanted Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair to close out night 1, yet fans were endlessly pushing to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos close out the show. The main reason for this was because the story between the four men was unbelievable, and it was the right move to see the hottest story in the company close out night 1 of the biggest show of the year. Thankfully, WWE listened, and the four men got the nod to close out the show. The match was excellent, and it resulted in Owens and Zayn becoming undisputed tag team champions. The final shot of night 1 of WrestleMania 39 featured the two celebrating, and it was beautiful to watch as both men deserved this special moment in the spotlight. Number 7, Becky Lynch confronts Ronda Rousey. At the start of 2019, Becky Lynch was one of the most popular stars in WWE.
Yo, that match was
this popularity
good. I
led
feel
to
like
Lynch and Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey's eventual showdown being one of the most anticipated in recent
Kevin
memory.
Owens was
Lynch would
snapping.
finally face off at a
It
heated
was so
confrontation in
satisfying
January of
seeing him beat up on
2019
a
on Raw after Lynch had won the
dirty
Women's Royal
foot dom.
Rumble. The crowd were mesmerized
how they
by the
lost it-
segment, and the face-off between the two women should have been a still shot that sold WrestleMania. Unfortunately,
messed
whilst
up.
this moment was utter magic, the WWE had to ruin the legacy of this moment by adding Charlotte Flair to their WrestleMania 35 encounter. Nevertheless, the initial stare-down between Lynch and Rousey is one of the most iconic segments WWE have ever delivered. Number 6, Daniel Bryan stands tall. WrestleMania 30 was built heavily around Daniel Bryan. Bryan had emerged as a default top babyface of the WWE, and despite WWE's desire to see Bryan in an alternative role, WWE fans were adamant that Bryan was their guy. WrestleMania 30's opening contest would see Bryan defeat Triple H, and this allowed Bryan to be added to the main event title match between Randy Orton and Batista. The main event match was fantastic, and it culminated in Bryan making Batista tap out to become WWE Champion. WrestleMania 30 would go off the air with Bryan celebrating with the two world titles as confetti fell down to the ground. It was a beloved moment, and it was special not just because WWE finally listened to the fans, but also because Bryan was someone who truly deserved it. Bryan was one of the hardest workers in the entire company, and him closing out WrestleMania 30 in this manner was the culmination of his resilience, sacrifice, and endless dedication. Number 5, The Game returns. WWE took a huge blow in 2001 when their resident top heels Triple H went down with a serious quadricep injury. This meant that the game missed all of the infamous Invasion storylines, and his presence was definitely missed during the storyline itself. Triple H finally returned to WWE TV in early 2002 on Raw, and the game received a colossal reaction. The game returned in front of a packed house in Madison Square Garden, and the pop itself has been labeled as one of the biggest pops in the history of Raw. When the game entered the ring, it was evident that he was stunned by this reaction. After all, the last time WWE fans had seen the game, he was a detestable heel, but now the fans were unanimously cheering in admiration of him. According to Triple H himself in his book titled Making the Game, he was trying really hard not to burst into tears, but when he got back through the curtain, the emotion overcame him. When I got back through the curtain and I made sure I was out of sight, I lost it. I was bawling. Certainly not out of sadness, it was an appreciation. The whole ordeal was just so emotional for me. What I've gone through, what I almost lost, the appreciation the fans showed me, it all just hit me at once and I lost it. Number 4, The Rebellion of Jim Uso. The Bloodline saga has dominated WWE for 3 years, and in that time, WWE have expertly crafted a critically acclaimed storyline that has resulted in consistently high ratings and a ton of lapsed fans being reintroduced to the WWE product. There have been several moments throughout the saga that could have made the cut for this video, and in reality, a top 10 could be delivered just on the saga itself. One of the moments which sent fans into a frenzy came at the end of 2023 Night of Champions event.
Lord.
During the main event match, which pitted Roman Reigns teaming with Solo Sikoa to take on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Jim Uso decided enough was enough, and he decided to stand up to Reigns once and for all. The Usos interfered in the match, and when they attempted a super kick on Zayn, Zayn moved out of the way
kicking Solo
and intentionally hit Solo Sikoa. Upon seeing this, Reigns was infuriated, and he shoved both of the Usos. This was the exact moment in which Jimmy decided to stand his ground, and he delivered 2 game-changing super kicks to Reigns. The chaotic situation allowed Zayn and Owens to take advantage by hitting the stunner and haluva kick combination on Sikoa to win the match. The bloodline was disintegrating before everyone's eyes, and it was the WWE at its very best. Number 3, Kofi Mania. Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE title.
That was very satisfying, but just seeing where Jimmy is now.
It ultimately resulted in one of the finest storylines WWE delivered in the PG era. A heel version of Bryan was at the top of his game, and he was bringing out the best out of the always likable Kofi Kingston. The eventual match between the two was exceptional, and it's easy to see why fans thought it should have main evented the show. Kingston eventually managed to get the win, and he would celebrate with his New Day teammates as well as his close family. It was an incredibly touching moment, and it was incredibly satisfying to witness one of the most likable talents in all of WWE finally get his moment. Number 2, Eddie Guerrero becomes the guy. By the time WWE arrived at the No Way Out pay-per-view in 2004, Eddie Guerrero's popularity had skyrocketed. Guerrero was the most beloved babyface in the company, and it was finally time to see him crowned as the top guy on SmackDown. Guerrero would face off against Brock Lesnar in the main event of the show, and the match itself was one of the best matches of the Ruthless Aggression era. The closing moments of the match offered for some tense yet exciting viewing, as Guerrero would counter an F5 from Lesnar into a tornado DDT, and this allowed Guerrero to climb the turnbuckle and deliver a picture-perfect frog splash for the 1-2-3. Guerrero had finally done it. He was the new WWE champion, and the arena erupted. Fans were overjoyed that Guerrero was now the champion, and Guerrero's emotional response told the whole story. This was a deserved moment for a legendary talent like no other. And number 1, Sami Zayn's betrayal. The Bloodline saga was sent into an unexpected direction in 2022 when Sami Zayn joined the faction. Zayn brought a ton of depth to the group, as Zayn was notoriously an outstanding worker, but he also had incredible comedic talents, which resulted in him almost making the members of the faction break character on live TV. When the Bloodline began to feud with Kevin Owens, this put Zayn in an awkward position. Zayn and Owens had decorated history, and their friendship was well received, but Zayn had a family in the Bloodline, so he had to try and come to a decision on where his allegiance lied. The main event of the 2023 Rumble saw Roman Reigns defeat Kevin Owens, and after the match, the entire Bloodline delivered a brutal beatdown to Owens, and Owens would have his arms tied to the ropes. When Reigns attempted to strike a broken and battered Owens with a
Look
chair,
at Sammy's
Zayn
face.
intervened and informed Reigns that enough was enough. Reigns then ordered Zayn to be the one to strike Owens with a chair in order to show his allegiance to the faction. A conflicted and tormented Zayn then attacked Reigns with a chair, resulting in one of the biggest crowd ovations in WWE history. The rest of the Bloodline, with the exception of Jey Uso, then proceeded to attack Zayn, and the show went off the air with Owens and Zayn laying
Wait. They attacked Zayn too? They attacked him too?
One of the biggest crowd ovations in WWE history. The rest of the bloodline, with the exception of Jey Uso, then proceeded to attack Zayn, and the show went off the air with Owens and Zayn laying motionless on the canvas. It was exceptionally delivered, and the response from the crowd was phenomenal. WWE had truly hit a home run with the angle, and it's going to be a moment which is played in highlight reels for decades to come. But there you have it, folks. 10 WWE moments that were pure cinema.
This bloodline storyline is freaking crazy. I'm sorry, I want to run it back just one more time.
Saga was sent into an unexpected direction in 2022 when Sami Zayn joined the faction. Zayn brought a ton of depth to the group, as Zayn was notoriously an outstanding worker, but he also had incredible comedic talents, which resulted in him almost making the members of the faction break character on live TV. When the bloodline began to feud with Kevin Owens, this put Zayn in an awkward position. Zayn and Owens had decorated history, and their friendship was well received, but Zayn had a family in the bloodline, so he had to try and come to a decision on where his allegiance lied.
This makes me happy
the
that
main event of the 2023 Rumble saw Roman Reigns defeat Kevin Owens, and after the match, the entire bloodline delivered a brutal beatdown to Owens, and Owens would have his arms tied to the ropes. When Reigns attempted to strike a broken and battered Owens with a chair, Zayn intervened and informed Reigns that enough was enough. Reigns then ordered Zayn to be the one to strike Owens with a chair in order to show
Roman,
his
you
allegiance
get your day.
to the faction.
I'm telling you,
Conflicted and tormented, Zayn then attacked Reigns with a chair, resulting in one of the biggest crowd ovations in WWE history. The rest of the bloodline, with the exception of Jey Uso, then proceeded to attack Zayn, and the show went off the air with Owens and Zayn laying motionless on the canvas. It was exceptionally delivered, and the response from the crowd was phenomenal. WWE had truly hit a home run with the angle, and it's going to be a moment which is played in highlight reels for decades to come. But there you have it, folks. 10
like I said the other day, Roman, when that day comes, when you lose your head at the table, everything just keeps crumbling. Everything just keeps crumbling down. That day is going to be so crazy. We are never going to forget it. That is always going to be the highlight of every single compilation video. The day that Roman has his day, because it is going to freaking happen. All the stealing and being saved and having people come out and save you and this shit, how you treat your family. All of this is going to catch up to you. And no one is going to be there to save you. And even if someone does come out and save you, I feel like they're going to get their ass. I don't know. All I have to say, just looking at this, how that played out, Solo, you better watch out. Or Solo might take him out. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm scared, bro. Because, I'm scared to see what's gonna happen next in the bloodline, because it's just right now it's weird, especially with Jimmy or whatever, this whole thing with Jimmy now. I don't understand where this is going, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna keep watching, because how much more despicable is this gonna keep getting, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, leave some comments down below, you guys. Let me know what you all think, and I will see y'all in the next one. Toodles.